That's what makes this show so valuable.
Yeah, we're not just spewing stuff that we off the top of our head. We're bringing guys in that are smarter than us.
Consider us as your real estate concierge.
Call me all things real estate, credit, refinancing, buying a house.
And now, the show that gives you the latest and most relevant housing market news. Real Estate Radio Boston with financial expert Rick Scherer and legal professional Ali Alavi.
Without further ado, I want to bring in Erica Wallace from Wallace Consulting Group.
What are we talking about this week?
This week's app is called Airbnb, and it's a travel alternative app that allows you to connect to people who have rooms for rent or unique spaces that you can sign up privately to rent from the owner directly.
So is it like Craigslist for rooms?
Yes. If you're really sick and tired of those, same old vanilla kind of hotel rooms, and you travel a lot, or you're going overseas, or you're going to a community you really want to connect to, you'd actually be able to stay within the community. So the range is everything from, like we said, $14 a night to $9,000 a night for the private island. It's like Craigslist, where you don't know exactly who you're dealing with, but they do have reviews on the site from other travelers, and they talk about what their experience is.
How do they get the app?
If you go to airbnb.com, or if you just search Airbnb on the Google Play Store for Android or iTunes for the iPhone.
But let's talk about sort of down payment requirements, because I think this is huge, and I continuously get phone calls from people saying, well, I haven't bought yet, or I did, because it hasn't been, I don't have the 20% down. And you guys go as low as 3%.
Well, the market is shifting. For those of you who pay attention, Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae increased their minimum down payment standard to 5% this past year.
Right.
In our relationship with Fannie Mae, they love us, and I think we do a great job for them. And they protected us by grandfathering in our deal with only 3% down. And for as long as we do our good job and they're happy with us, we'll have that market advantage. But borrowers going to a mass housing lender for a mass housing loan can buy a home with as little as 3% down, which is still pretty good. In today's market, with funding sources changing constantly, we did our $1 billion without an FHA product. And so we think that we can probably help a few more borrowers do loans that we haven't done in the past. I think the key thing is that if you go back and look at mass housing 30 years ago, I think we were thought of as the lender of last resort. Today, we're the lender of first choice,
right?
And because we offer a great product at a great price with minimal brain damage,
right.
And we also enlist among our partners some of the best lenders in the state who really do know what they're doing.
I'm blushing over here, by the way.
Now, a call to action for someone who is contemplating on USDA. Do they run out of funding? What's this that I hear? And Rick was talking about it before.
Yeah, what happens is they are funded by, it is a government program. So it's not really, the way that we word it is like, oh, USDA ran out of money, but they're really just waiting for the government to sign off on the funds again.
And they're so efficient at doing that kind of, timely, signing off on anything.
I know.
Sorry.
Well, sometimes they go on vacation. And it does tend to happen at the end of the year. But right now we have funds. We're closing loans right now. So they were funded, the funds are there, and all the loans are closing.
Right. But if somebody has come to you already and they've been sort of qualified and they, quote unquote, run out of money, that doesn't mean that their closing is somehow, or their purchase somehow is going to be on hold.
Well, if we've already taken in the file and run it, they'll still be fine because you already have obtained the certificate from USDA, so you can still close the loan. It would just be you can't apply when they're out of funds, because then you would just have to wait until the funds are available.
So the people that are out there that are currently pre-approved by you under that program, but you can't pull that trigger until you're under agreement.
Right. Actually, you'd have to be approved to be able to still close, because if you're pre-approved and you don't have the certificate yet, so yes, you'd have to wait until you actually have an actual property, you have the certificate, and you're ready to close.
And I want to make it clear that these are government programs. So VA and USDA loans are government programs, and every time we hear the words government program, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's harder to get.
No, and in some cases, and Rick can attest to this as well, because we could put FHA in that category. They're actually more lenient because they're a little bit more lenient. They want to put people in houses, and they're a little bit more lenient on the credit score. They are a little bit more lenient on the debt to income. The VA is actually one of the easiest programs to get, and they're have such competitive interest rates. They all run at low interest rates with, the low or no money down.
A lot of times people, the loan officers out there focus on FHA.
One thing that the selling point is they have a relatively lower interest rate than sometimes the Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac market and mass housing. Mm-hmm. But the fees are out of control. I think you got your PMI is some of the best in the industry as far as defaults, correct?
Yeah, and that's the key thing is that mass housing not only wants to put people in homes, they want to keep them in their homes. And so whatever products that we will offer them in a way that people can be assured that they have the highest opportunity to enjoy long-term successful home ownership.
And you guys do that really well because, you put people through a home buyer's class and people go, I have to go through a class because I'm the same way. I hate sitting in class. But they come out of it being like, wow, I learned a ton from that. And I think that, again, it sustains ability. And we just came off one of the worst sort of downturns in the market. You guys were low money down and you guys fared pretty well through that.
It's all about responsible home lending.
Right.
And we not only do we do purchase money loans, we do refinances. Not only do we do first-time home buyers, we do move-up buyers.
Right.
And for borrowers that lost some equity the last time around and they thought they had 20% and they don't. And if they want to move up or they want to refinance, mass housing is an option for them as well.
So I just want to clarify that. So no equity takeout, meaning that you're not going to do cash out.
Correct.
That's correct.
So all you're doing is you're utilizing the refinance as a tool to be able to reduce your interest rate.
Ali, the average refinance customer in mass housing last year saved $400 a month in their monthly mortgage payment.
Right. So if you have an FHA loan out there, okay, you probably put 3.5% down, but you have this crazy PMI payment, $300-400. We can get rid of, even if we don't change the rate in which you're in, just getting rid of that PMI with no closing cost loan is going to save you $300.